Greeting, blessed souls, is Dan Zusia Goodman. We're live from our new location at the Sephardic Shul, located at 1433 President Street, between Kingston and Albany Avenue. I'm with 7 for 70 Administrator Baruch Hoffinger HaKohen, and with Ben Noach Torah scholar Ron Williams. And I want to ask Ron some questions about the importance, if you feel there's any, for the children of Noah meditating. But I want to preface that with saying that, blessed souls, and by the way, why am I saying blessed souls? Please go to the book of Genesis, chapter 9, verse 1, and find out for yourselves in the Torah teaching who the Almighty blessed. And you'll find out that He blessed all of us. But you have to do your own research on that, if you need to. Ron, we were learning today earlier in our class about the fundamentals of faith from the seminal work of Rabbi Moshe Wiener, which we are told from Rabbi Wiener's fifth principle that it is incumbent on the entire human race not only to stay away from idolatry, but to generate a knowledge, a positive acquisition, the knowledge of the Almighty God. And he mentioned the term, which is also mentioned in Rambam's Laws of the Foundations of Torah, in the second chapter, second law, that how is one going to develop a love and fear of the Almighty? Through the process of his bonus, of contemplation, meditation. How have you found meditation as a means of deepening your commitment to the practical fulfillment of the 7 Noahide Commandments?
Okay, personally for myself, I found that just saying that you know something requires a certain amount of in-depth knowledge of what you proclaim to know. And to come to that knowledge, it requires contemplative analysis of whatever subject that you proclaim to know. So when a person says that I know God, or I would like to know God, there's a certain requirement. And that requirement means to really understand, first of all, who God is and what He requires from us. Mm-hmm. So it's not just a superficial idea that you would have. You must have actual knowledge of what He requires from you. As, for example, a person may say, okay, thou shalt not kill, or in accurate terms actually, commit murder. Mm-hmm. Okay, we must first understand and define what murder actually is. And if we should, God forbid, commit this act, what we're actually doing in reality, that we are actually destroying an image of God, because God made man in His image.
That's right. It's called Tselem Elokim. That's in each and every human being. Everyone is made in the image of the Almighty.
And with deep contemplation, we can understand that whenever we violate either one of the 7 Noahide laws, what we're doing actually is violating God's will. But unless we understand deeply what these actual laws mean intrinsically, we may find ourselves violating these laws without consciously realizing that they're
without consciously what? Realizing that we were basically conducting ourselves. And this actually applies to members of Israel, Jewish people. That no, we'll just keep it rolling. It's okay. No one's. This is not Oxford University. This is just meat and potatoes Torah. And as the Lubavitch Rebbe taught, that you see that greater people than us, people known as the Tanoim and Amoraim, people who had something called Ruach HaKodesh, Holy Divine Inspiration, that they were quoted in Talmudic texts of saying, I made a mistake, I don't know, we'll have to wait till Elijah the prophet comes. But that's okay, because what we're trying to do is to share with the blessed souls watching the video is that it's okay for a person to sort of get caught in the words, because when we sort of get lost in our conversation, we kind of lose our track of thought, even though we started on a definitive path. That's just a sign from the Almighty that we have to go deeper into our Torah study. You know, I just one last question. You mentioned to me on many occasions the effect of how learning in a deep analytical way, Chassidus, has affected your observance of the Noahide Commandments. Can you, the little time that we have left, give some sort of summarization? How has your observance of the 7 Noahide Commandments changed since you started learning Chassidus in an in-depth analytical way over the past 3 years?
Me personally, I acquired a more spiritual connection to the understanding as opposed to its practical application before.
Right. But do you find it in application, the application seems more tangible because you got to the inner dimensions of the application? Meaning, if you're getting a love, if you're developing a greater love of the Creator, so I'm suggesting perhaps it would cause you to, it would behoove you, or it would compel you to, for sure, more than you thought before, how you should avoid, say, idolatry. For sure now you definitely don't want to go near idolatry, because you're developing greater love and fear and awe of the Creator based on these teachings of Chassidus.
100%. And also you acquire more of an inner commitment as opposed to just what you've read and understood before.
Right. And it's well known that you know the commandments are the practical application of the endless ocean of knowledge that's out there in Torah. And so to speak, the halachas, the pathways of Torah are the body. And the inner knowledge, which Chassidus can afford any human being, is, so to speak, the soul of the commandments that each one of us are going to try to fulfill. We'd like to have the last word on that. Okay, winding it down, yeah?
Well, according to Reb Ginsburg, he said that eventually the Jewish people, Bnei Israel, will be in charge of interpreting the soul of the teachings of the Torah, right. And the Bnei Noach will be responsible for the body of the teachings of the Torah.
Okay, very good. Okay, blessed souls, we're going to wind up here, and just to remind everyone, 2 great books to pick up: Kabbalah and Meditation for the Nations by Rav Ginsburg, and the Devanka by Rabbi Moshe Wiener, which was also edited by Dr. Michael Schulman. Beautiful website to go to is www.asknoah.org, and also www.inner.org by Rav Ginsburg. The soul of the Torah and the body of the Torah working together with the children of Israel and the